Hello, loves. So, I'm gonna do a video today, a short video about depression because I've been struggling with depression like on and off my whole life and have directly experienced it, and I still kind of fall into it sometimes. But I know that, like, what I am about to say can be triggering to people, or maybe like you feel like I haven't experienced depression or something like it. But I do really know that when I'm not mindful, when I'm not aware of myself, I start to become my depression. I start to really believe that I am the depression, because there's nothing wrong with feeling depressed or being depressed. I think it's a superpower if you look at it in a good way, because it takes you inside and it really allows you to see what doesn't work, like what makes you feel bad, and you get a chance to shift that and make something better out of your life and be more aligned in mind, body, and heart, because depression is kind of like this slowing down mechanism that is just slowing you down, taking you within. And if you're able to be with that, observe that, and listen to it, it's a superpower. But what I've noticed with depression and anxiety is that when we believe them, like when we attach ourselves to them and identify with them, like I am, because when we're saying I am depressed, sometimes what we're really saying is I am depression. Like we come into such a low state in our minds, like so little of dopamine and all the different, Jesus, I forgot the word now, but we kind of lose all of those chemical balances and we become so low, and we don't do anything about it in a positive sense. We just believe the depression to be the truth about us, and we become more and more depressed. We fall into this pit hole because we become the depression, we become the anxiety. But when we're able to be with our depression and be with our pain and be with all of those things in a mindful way, like through meditation, through yoga, through writing, journaling, through being in nature, through dancing, through expressing ourselves in art, or like singing or chanting, like whatever way feels good to us, then we get to kind of listen to the depression and what it has to say, what it's telling you, what it's telling you about your body, about your mental state, like what you need. Because depression can often come to people that are kind of like have been through hard stuff when they were a child, like very sensitive people that have been bullied or abused or just made fun of, like whatever. And we kind of believe that the depression make us weak and that we are small and weak, and we kind of feel that that vulnerability isn't allowed because that's not how our world is telling us to be. We are told to be strong and on top all the time. But when we're able to stay with that depression, it's really a superpower that takes us within, that allows us to explore and not fall into it, not believe it, and not like, of course you're vulnerable, of course you're like vulnerable and you have this little child inside, but you're not little and small and powerless. So I think that it's, or feel that it's very connected to kind of like feeling powerless and depressed, feels like they're very connected to each other. So if you're a person that struggles with depression, I'm not saying that anything I say will fix you or like whatever, but I'm saying that if you find ways to be with your depression in a way that is actually serving to you and can take you within and check your needs and boundaries, because you are a sensitive person and you can't be like kind of a caregiver, then you get this superpower. You get this beautiful, vulnerable, empathic superpower. Just don't kind of believe what society tells you that depression is and what that makes you and what kind of person you become because you are depressed. Because that's like a real social conditioning. I don't really think that depression is what we say that it is. I don't really think that depression is like, yeah, I don't think that it is what we say it is. I think it's much more complex than we actually give it credit for, and it can be seen from many different filters, and it can be a very positive kind of superpower, and it's also something that we can overcome and heal in ourselves. So that's a little what I had to say about depression. If you feel offended or anything, like you can really, I would love if you tell me your thoughts about depression and your experience, because it's been very, very hard for me many times. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I feel blessed to have you here, and have a beautiful day.